Hi, Tim.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on today?
Not too much. We're making dinner. A bunch of first years and second years from Booth coming over. I think maybe 10 or 12. We'll see how many show up. We're making mushroom risotto, some grilled veggies, which are already just out of the oven. Hopefully a zucchini galette, salad, bread, maybe dessert. We'll see.
That's really cool. Let's dive straight into the questions.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your background, etc. What are you doing at Booth, etc.
Yeah, so before Booth, I was a software engineer in Washington, D.C. Came here to transition careers and also just have a great time at business school. I've taken a bunch of classes. Of course, I'm a second year now at Booth and going into consulting, so kind of accomplished that career transition. So I'll be moving to New York after I graduate.
Ooh, fun. New York. What is something that you think is underrated at Booth?
I think the thing I was most surprised by at Booth was the community here and how strong the community is with everyone living in the loop. Underrated, maybe the soft skill classes.
Is there anything that you wish so was sort of different at Booth?
That's a good question. What would I do differently? Maybe convince people to take recruiting a little less seriously.
Yeah.
I think people get really stressed out about it in fall quarter, and in reality, we're all going to be figuring out how to recruit and re-recruit for the rest of our working lives.
So you said recruiting journey was a little bit stressful and tough, but you did consulting. So what were some of the resources on campus that kind of helped you on that recruiting journey?
I think Management Consulting Group, MCG, is really helpful. I think just reaching out in general, the firms are actually really supportive as you work to recruit with them. So just reaching out to firm reps, and once you get an interview, they support you really quite solidly in nailing the interview. So
amazing. Well, before we dive into more questions, let's do some rapid fire questions. True or false? Booth is not a party school.
False.
All right. Follow-up question. What has been your favorite party at Booth so far?
Favorite party? Probably the Halloween party. I don't know. There's so many good parties at this school. It's hard to pick just one.
Well, aside from parties, we have really cool events like Battle of the Bands, Around the World, etc. What has been your favorite non-party event?
Probably the hockey game, actually, which is just about to come up. It was really surprising to me, but school spirit really comes out.
Really? I got tickets to that, the Blackhawks game, right?
No, the Booth versus Kellogg hockey game.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
People are really hardcore about it, actually.
Okay, well, I got the Blackhawks ticket where we get to behind the scenes tour of the locker rooms, etc., so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's nice.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate the commute.
The commute, I'm a bad person to ask about this because I have a car, so I drive when I want to.
Okay.
But I think it's a non-factor. It's so easy to take the train.
100%. Do you find it hard to deal with the car situation in Chicago though? Because
a little bit. I just park outside of my building in a garage underneath the park, and it's pretty cheap and easy to deal with. Parking on campus is a bit more of a hassle, but if you park for morning classes and take the train for afternoon classes, then it works out just fine.
Gotcha. How much roughly is the monthly parking near the park?
It ranges from 160 to maybe 220, depending on whether you pick the closer one or the further one. And if you park in MPP, I think it's more 260 or.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite campus study spot?
My secret campus study spot is definitely third floor of Harper, in the kind of up above it all, looking down on the winter.
I've actually never been there.
Yeah.
How do you build community at Booth?
At Booth, I just invite people to things, and then this amazing thing happens. They show up. So everyone at Booth loves having friends and doing things, and I've just been shocked by the number of times someone has asked me out of the blue if I want to grab coffee, and then I always say yes. And I've been surprised by every time I invite people over for dinner or whatever. They're just so thrilled to be invited.
That's cool. So there's this annual event called Random Walk, where before school people get to. First years before school, we get to go on a trip with 17 strangers that we've barely met. Did you do a random walk in your first year?
I did. I went to Indonesia, which is really just a trip to Bali, with people who became some of my closest friends at Booth, actually.
And you also led a random walk, right?
I did. I originally signed up to lead a random walk and was not selected, but then one of my friends wasn't able to lead the one he was chosen for. and I stepped in and led the Ireland Random Walk.
Was there a big difference between leading a random walk and being on one?
Yeah. Particularly when I think when you're on one, you don't know anyone yet. You're like meeting everyone for the first time. You're super excited. When you're leading one, you're still meeting a bunch of those people for the first time, but you know what booth is, and you've gone through a year, and you also feel a little bit responsible for like leading the trip and being responsible.
What are some cool clubs on campus that you're a part of?
I'm part of Energy Club, which has a lot of cool guest speakers. I'm part of the Rugby Club, which is about rugby, but it's also a big social club. I'm part of Wine Club, which has a lot of really great events to learn more about wine, but also just hang out with boothies. I'm part of Racket Club, which is around tennis, but also all other forms of racket sports. What else am I part of? I'm part of AFG, the Armed Forces Group.
Oh, I didn't know you were a vet.
Yep. And then the professional clubs as well are great. So.
That's cool. What are some hobbies that you've continued outside of booth?
Like ones that I did before I came to booth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? Anything you continued while in booth as well?
Yeah. So like taking foreign language classes, sports, and going to the gym. I've taken like one thing I've done a bunch of here at booth that's not officially a booth thing is like gone to berries or solid core classes with friends. What else have I done? Cooked. Yeah. I don't know. That's probably most of it.
How did you balance some of your non-booth things with your current booth life?
I try and incorporate some of it in. So like I wanted to cook more, so I started doing dinner parties. I used to was a bartender in undergrad, so I have friends over and make drinks for them. So I just try and find ways to incorporate my interests. Some of them, like learning foreign languages, don't fit that well, so I just carve out time. And really it's all about prioritization, because like if you don't decide to put some time on your calendar and then commit to spending it, then you will end up spending that time on homework or sleeping or hanging out with friends.
If I had to ask you to pick one thing, what would be the favorite thing you have at booth?
My favorite thing is just hanging out with friends, like random. I think last week some friends organized a dumpling night and we like made dumplings. Different time, we'll do like espresso martini night. Sometimes we'll go out for dinner for like restaurant week, or just decide we're going to check out a beer brewery or something like that. So just the very unstructured, different groups of friends hanging out in different ways.
That's really cool. So if you had to leave prospective students or incoming students, or maybe your past self, a message or a lesson of some sort, what would that be?
It's going to be okay, so don't stress out too much and prioritize making friends over like trying to impress people or worrying about your recruiting journey. It'll be serious about recruiting, but there's a lot more to business school outside of interviewing, and you'll get a job, don't worry.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
About economics.
Wait.
You guys are weird.
Your soundtrack to this video.
Question. What has been your favorite party so far?
Hello. Oh, you made the video.
Yes. We're
Making a video of Tim cooking?
Yeah, we're doing a quick interview, 73 questions
Oh wow.
style.
Oh my god, that's so fun.
I have a question. Do you know what these are? Hi.
Don't worry, keep going.
You've never seen them before?
Did Tim pay you
What
to
is
do
this
this?
from?
No, he's helping me out.
I'm trying to hang